All right. Good morning. If I could open up the door, Oi, there we go. Good morning. It is February 20th, Sunday. 2022. So I guess I should do like an introduction if for people who haven't seen these videos before. Not that there's a lot at this point, but yeah. So this series is my random musings every day. At least every day for now. It is just about 7 a.m. I do a walk every morning. And lately I've been making these videos. And yeah, and today we are going to, I think maybe once a week, I'll do a book review. And since we have been talking, you don't need to watch previous videos, but since we have been talking a lot about habits and stuff like that, I figured I would officially do the, and I mentioned it a couple of times, but I figured I will do a book review on Atomic Habits by James Clear. So let me show you. Yes, I'm walking around with a book stuffed in my coat here, because I'm the kind of guy who has books stuffed in his coat. But there you go, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I got the hardback edition. It's a nice edition, I think. I've been paying more attention to. I guess I've becoming a proper book nerd and paying more attention to the quality of the binding and everything like that. But it's nice. It opens up, lays flat. It's not too heavy. And the pages the text is clear. So it's I like the hardback version. I can't say anything about the softback because I never always buy hardbacks if I can, and softbacks if I can't. And then for a long time I was doing the ebooks or whatever, but I think that took like a bunch of the vanity away for me from reading books, because I really like having, well, obviously the physical object when you're reading is a little bit nicer somewhat. Sometimes, I don't know, some books, like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like the e-readers are nicer to read because you can have like a smaller, lighter device, like compared to the hard books, the hardcovers, because hardcovers are not, strictly speaking, better, a better reading experience. Actually, mass market paperback is usually probably the little tiny paperbacks. That's something I've been looking into. I didn't know the terminology for all the different books, and so I figured if I'm going to be book collecting or whatever, I might as well learn the terms. But yeah, the little tiny, Harlequin romance, the little books that you find like on the grocery store shelf or whatever. Those are called mass market paper books, and those actually read the best mostly because you're not afraid to mess the book up. You just break the spine and oh well, it's $10. You don't care. But yeah, but this book is it's a rather nice. I think it's a decent book, and I gotta fix my stuffing on my book here. All right, I don't think it's going in. Sorry if I'm scratching the mic, but cannot be avoided. Alrighty, yeah. So the Atomic Habits by James Clear. So the book is about all about building habits. It talks about, of course, goes through the usual spiel why habits are important. That they they kind of they form the basis of our routines and stuff, and they could be good or bad. If you wake up every day at there's a bunch of things that we do in our lives that are automatic, that we don't actually think of, and it's actually the only way that we make it through the day. Because if we had to make choices about everything that we did constantly, we would just be, it's so much more mental effort or whatever, right? So if you had to get up every morning and decide what you're going to drink that morning. So am I going to have water this morning? Am I going to have orange juice? Or have coffee? Or have tea? Or have beer? No, that's not really what you do. Normally you get up in the morning and you have something that you drink in the morning. For a lot of people it's just coffee. It's the first thing in the morning they're going to have coffee. Or some people they just have a glass of water and they have coffee later, but they've already made that decision and they're just executing that decision every day. And that's a habit, right? And those could be good or bad. I think I talked about smoking cigarettes. That's a bad habit, obviously. And a lot of habits have cues and stuff that, every time I wake up, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to turn the heat on, habit. I'm going to put on some clothes, habit. I make a decision to do that. I'll start the coffee, again, habit. And then I'll go outside to take a walk, and basically until I wake up. Again, habit, And now, apparently, do book reviews on Sunday. So, again, habit. So it's yeah. So that's why habits are important, because over time, these good or bad habits can make your life easier, or they can make it harder. So the big one that makes that people say that makes it easier is reading every day. So if you read only 30 minutes a day, you're going to be reading dozens of books a year. You're going to be reading a few books every month. And it doesn't really matter how slow of a read. You can be a really slow reader. If you're only reading 30 minutes a day, you're going to go through dozens of books. And just think about it. Do you have 30 minutes to read a book? Well, yeah, you probably do. You probably spend more than 30 minutes doing something that you don't really care about, maybe scrolling through Facebook, or as they call it, doom scrolling through Twitter to find out the latest bad news and stuff. And that's honestly where I got a lot of my time back. Was I stopped, as terrible as it sounds, I stopped really consuming any media of news media. I stopped watching. I used to love The Daily Show, and then what's that? The English dude on HBO. Can't believe I'm breaking. What is it? Last Week Tonight. I love the Last Week Tonight. Those kind of fun news shows and stuff. And I had collected half a dozen different shows that I was watching, and not all of them were every night, but it was enough of them that I was spending hours a day, plus reading on Reddit or whatever the latest news. And I was spending all this time reading stuff that honestly, it was, most of the news is like reading a third grade book report, right? Because that's the level of effort that these journalists can economically put into their articles, right? And like they got 2 hours to put together a story. Chances are they were just kind of given the story or the lead by some aggregation, kind of like AP News or something or other, put out some, I don't know, press releases. You know, you get a whole batch of press releases. They thumb through the press releases for the day and say, okay, well, I'm a science reporter. Here's something sciencey. Let me write up a. I don't know how this actually works, but imagine this is how this works. So here's a sciencey press release. Let me look into it, and then they'll write up a, 500, 1,000, 1,500 words or whatever. I don't know how, whatever their amount is that they got to write up for their article that day. And maybe they only have to do one article, maybe one article a day, or maybe it's multiple articles a day. It depends on, obviously, that's going to depend on the news outlet, right? But obviously, you want more articles from a business perspective. You want more articles on more things at the expense of quality, because speed is everything, right? You want to be, if everybody else is posting about, I don't know, Bruce Jenner's new Cadillac or something or other, you got to get your story out there, or other people are going to get the clicks. Yeah, other news organizations are going to get the clicks, and you're not. And that's your lifeblood. You need those advertising dollars from those clicks. So anyway, boy, we went on a tangent, didn't we? Yeah. So yeah, like if you reprioritize things like reading, because you're already doing some reading, maybe if you just reprioritize it into like reading, like it could just be fiction. It could be, it doesn't even have to be like real. I think they've shown in studies that you don't even have to read like anything fancy or anything. It's just reading every day is going to get you, it's kind of like meditation, actually. It's going to get you in that relaxed, contemplative mindset, or something or other, right? So yeah, the book talks about why they're important and everything, and then the rest of the book is pretty much, so that was his thesis of the book. It sets up the thesis, and then it starts explaining like how to strategies and how to execute on all those things. So it goes through. It says it goes through like 4 different things. It says like make it obvious. Let's talk about it is habits. Make habits obvious. Make them attractive. Make them easy. Make them satisfying. So the obvious is, like I said, some of this stuff is obvious. So when I was talking, was it yesterday or the day before? Some of these tips are obvious, but you got to break them through. So like I have the habit tracker. That's part of me making it obvious. Is I put it very visibly in the way the tracker, the accountability in the tracker, and that makes it very visible whether or not I'm doing the thing I'm supposed to do. Yeah, so I'm always reminded, and that kind of plays off of this one or the other one. Make it easy, but I have one of my habits is playing the guitar. And one of the ways that I remember to practice every day, besides the habit tracker, is I literally have the guitar just like sitting out, like in the living room. And that was my electric guitar, and I recently got a acoustic guitar because I was that was my reward. We'll get to it later, but but that was my reward from consistent practice, which is I got to get an acoustic guitar. But anyway, so I had my electric guitar and it was always out, so it was very easy for me to just pick it up and sit down in the recliner and pick at it while I watched TV. And what would inevitably happen is I would start picking at it, and then I would get engaged for at least, I would just naturally get engaged for at least 10 or 15 minutes, like really trying to like improve my chord shapes or my strumming pattern or something. And then that was it. That was my practice for the day, right? And it was actually focused practice. But even if all I did was mindlessly strum and watch TV, that would still be good, because I'm still keeping the habit consistent. It's more important for me to be consistent about it at even the most minimal level than to skip, right? The consistency is very important. So that's make it obvious, make it attractive. So it's I guess the thing that one's, I'm going off memory, because this book, I read this book like a month or two ago. So I think attractive was make it something that you want to do. You don't want it to be a bad experience every time you do it, right? And that's like as you're doing it, not. So if you want to, I'm trying to think of I should have actually researched before I did my quote unquote book report here, but book review. But so I guess to make it attractive would be like if you want to write every day. One of the things that you could do was set aside a space that is just devoted to writing, and you make it like as nice a space as you can. So that means you get a nice pencil. You have several sharp pencils, and you get some writing paper, your favorite writing paper, and you set it out, and you have it like right there, ready to go. The desk is like the right height and everything. You're removing all the friction, right, from the experience, and just making the actual experience like really, really nice. I do this with work. Like I have office, and the nicer I make the office, the more I like to work. It's silly. But it does make a difference. It's not a huge difference, like 5 or 10% if you're trying to put a number on it, but it helps. Every little bit helps. And the more consistent, like with a lot of these habits, is if you're writing or reading or working out or something, usually consistency is more important than the actual output on any given day. So so make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it easy. That was part of it. We go back to my guitar example. Is I have the guitar out. It's the convenient thing to do. I could choose to watch TV. That's actually equally easy. So any alternative to watching TV has to be equally easy. So I have a stack of books, like right by the TV. I have my journal that I write in every day, right by the TV, and then I have my guitar like right there by the TV, or like right there in the same room. And so that is such that I like watching TV. I don't, but I know it's a waste of time. I could do things that would make it less obvious. I could hide the TV. I could put it over like in the spare bedroom. I could make it less attractive. Let me see here. How could I make it less attractive? I could make it so that I set the TV so that it only plays 720p instead of 1020 full HD, right? Would be less. The experience wouldn't be as nice. I wouldn't want to watch it, especially since I watch mostly YouTube. It's just you click the setting and turn down the quality. Maybe I wouldn't want to watch as much, or I can mess with the sound and make the sound nastier or whatever, because I've got a nice stereo system. I could make it less attractive that way. I could make it less easy. I could put the TV. I could literally just lock the TV away in the closet, and then if I want to watch TV, I would have to get it out of the closet and set it up, and then I get to watch TV. Meaning I have to put in more effort to do that. Or would I do that if I did all that? If I had to get the TV out of the closet, and if I watched YouTube on it, it would only be 360p, and of course I don't ever see it because it's in the closet, so I'm not constantly reminded to watch TV. Am I more likely to watch TV, or am I more likely to play the guitar that's like just right out there and ready to go, or read a book which is out there ready, or write in my journal? Any number of those things. So you see how you kind of stack in the deck and stuff. So that's what that's talking about. Make it easy, and then the last thing is make it satisfying. So reward yourself. So it could be a simple thing like a small reward, or it could be that you could have like a small, some things are just like intrinsically rewarding, like if you like baking, if you want a habit of baking cookies, well, that's an intrinsically rewarding activity, right? If you want to cook more cookies, the reward's baked right in, like literally, pun intended. You're like, once you get through done making your cookies, well, you've got cookies, you know. That's you know, make it satisfying. And then you could also attach rewards to things. So on my habit tracker, I have different goals for things. So I like have one of them is lose weight, 150. I think 150 pounds by my birthday is the goal. I don't know if I'm going to make it there or not. I think I'm a little bit behind, but if I do make it, my reward to myself, I think that for that one it's an iPad. I get to get an iPad. It's something that, and this is something I'm trying. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I've always been just, you know, if I want something, just go out and buy it, right? But in an attempt to kind of stave off my grossest gear acquisition syndrome qualities that we were talking about the other night, in an attempt to curb that, I have timed them to certain goals, certain milestones or whatever that I'm tracking as part of my habit. So for my weight loss goal, for my health goal, I set it at 150 pounds by my birthday, basically, and then if I do that, then I get an iPad. I'm able to buy an iPad, which is something I've been wanting to buy a long time. That's all I have is a Fire tablet, and I hate that thing. It's so slow. It hitches up even watching the internet or even just browsing Amazon. It's just ridiculous how bad it is. But anyway, I want to get an iPad. The other one is wealthy. So wealthy. So I have a goal to try to make, I don't know, $100,000 a year take home, and so I've got a bunch of things that will allow me to get there that I'm working towards. So like I'm working on projects, so I'm reading every day. I'm making sure that I'm you know, hunting for jobs or whatever, hunting for opportunities, and also making sure I'm putting in the hours at work that I need to, that, you know, presumably lead to promotion. But anyway, that's, if I hit $100,000, well, hey, that's the intrinsic reward. I made a reward. It's satisfying. It's rewarding. That's an intrinsic reward, is 100. But cherry on top, I get to buy a MacBook, which I don't strictly need a laptop. I have 2 laptops for work if I really need to work on, but I wanted like a personal laptop, but I couldn't justify it, right? So, but if I do reach my goal there at some point, then I get to buy a MacBook. And then what is it? So creative, I just added this one. For my creative category, I added, you know, I have to do this daily vlog that we're doing for an indeterminate. I think I said, yeah, 100. If I do 100 videos before my birthday, or something miraculous occurs and monetization gets turned on, and I make enough just through monetization alone to afford the reward, then I get to buy it. And the reward is, going back to the very first video, I think it's the very first video, I get to buy a new camera. Like an actual proper camera to do this whole thing with. So that's the reward. If I'm consistent with doing the videos, I have justified at that point the expenditure in my mind, and I'll also give myself a little bit of reward to make things nicer. But yeah, that's keep it satisfying. And then there's some advanced tactics and stuff like that he includes at the back of the book. Like I said, there's nothing like truly like groundbreaking, but I think putting it all together in such a clear, easy read, I think that's the magic of the book, and that's why so many people recommend it, is for that reason. It's a really good book. I think if you have any ideas about wanting to be more productive or whatever, this has nothing to do with hustle culture or something, because you can make your habits as demanding or not, you know, as you so desire. So this isn't like toxic hustle culture stuff, or, you know, working 80-hour weeks or anything. You get to make your choice, right? What you want to do. But how are you going to do it effectively? And that's what this book is about, being effective with what you're doing. And yeah, it's a good book. I would recommend it. It's easily a 10 out of 10 book. Not that I have a rating scale, but it'd be like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. It's a good book. I flew through the book. It was not, at no point did I get bogged down. There's you know, some books you get bogged down into a little bit. Sometimes you get sections where you trudge through. A lot of times the book starts out, you know, they set up their thesis, and then the rest of the book, like this one, is then breaking down that thesis one by one. But they've already, a lot of books, once they set up their thesis and make their case, the rest of the book is really just rehashing. You know, you're like, yeah. You're repeating yourself, mister. Yeah. Stop repeating yourself, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of how a lot of these books work. But this isn't that. It sets up the thesis. It sets up, it then elaborates on all of the points of the thesis, and then you know, kind of concludes with some advanced tactics and stuff like that. but I liked it. Yeah, I have a new setup. That concludes the book review portion. But I do have a new video set. So I had like this Samsung Galaxy or whatever. It was like a Walmart phone. It was like $50 Walmart phone that I had for work purposes. So sometimes we do mobile development, and yeah, and so I needed like a physical device, because we could run like the device emulated in software, but sometimes you just need a physical device. Anyway, so I had this little cheapo Android phone for testing, for working on in Android development, and so I just had this thing sitting around, and I was like, okay, let me try plugging that microphone into it. Maybe it'll work. And sure enough, I plugged in the lab mic, and everything started working, like right out of the box. And the bonus thing is I can leave this set up like because I have this like little tripod thing. Checking the mail every day. That's another habit I don't think about. It's automatic. Is I check the mail when I get done with my walk. If you go back to the previous video, you'll see that. That's the power of habits. But yeah, so I had this El Cheapo phone, and it's more or less the same quality as my iPhone, so might as well, right? Alrighty, so yeah, good book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's and I will see you guys tomorrow morning.